So my feed went down. That was good. Right in the middle of the story. I'm gonna do a set and then I'll tell the story again. It's not fantastic. We might not go much heavier than. I don't think I'm gonna go all the way up to the 40s today. Let's see. It's not feeling, starting to feel not so great. So anyway, so the story is I took Taekwondo when I was younger, and my grandmaster really liked that I was very like intense and very had a lot of heart and my moves and stuff. Not great technique, but very strong, which was something he admired. So he would call me his best boy in front of everyone. And there was an instructor that was older than me and bigger than me that was a brown belt that hated that. And one day, because he would give instructions to our class, he had us all pair up for sparring, and he decided that he was going to pair up with me. And if you were sparring a belt that was younger than you or lower than you were supposed to not use higher moves. And we hadn't at this point learned jumping kicks, but he had. And he decided at one point just to jump up and kick me in the head as hard as he could, took my sparring helmet off, and just couldn't help himself. And it was so dumb. Very dumb thing to do. But some people can't handle not being the best. And it was stupid because he was really good. There was no reason for him to feel jealous. One of those suitcase squats my back a little bit more tired. Doing front squats yesterday. I feel it a little bit more. All right, we're going to try the 40s. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it today. It's going to be a very bad idea. Take it very slow. Take it slow and listen to my body. Like every yoga instructor I've ever had says. It's like a constant theme in those classes. Take it slow. and listen to your body. All right. Normally I do a set of 10. Well, last few weeks we've been doing 3 sets of 10. Did a set of 8. I started to feel a little harder to go nice and slow, so I had to call it at 8. But it's better than nothing, right? Oh man, my one of my kids asked me to tell them stories right before they go to bed. We usually do like reading stories, and I put them down. And one of them just wants like one more. I put them down. I'll try to do like quick ones. And quick one I told them the other night. The story my dad tells me tells us that when my brother and I were really young, we were outside when my dad was watching us from the window, and these two bigger kids from the neighborhood just came over to us and were starting to cause some problems. So me and my little brother, we squared up against them, and right when we started fighting, or go to fight, my little brother takes off, and my dad, you know, thinks, what a little punk. He's leaving his brother to fight 2 guys. And as my dad started to get up and go outside, my little brother comes running back up, dragging a shovel behind him. He was not messing around. And my dad stopped the fight. Then it ended up being a story where my brother just pulverized 2 kids with a shovel. My dad did the responsible thing and stopped the fight. The slaughter. Nothing better. I mean, there's a lot of things that make it better, but it's high up on the list of great things to have a brother that's got your back. Come on. Do need to end a little bit early today. Probably end about 10 minutes early. My wife wants to get to work early today. One of the things I talked about when I first no quitting early, Tim. We keep going. Iron Bison. Appreciate that. I do. If if my wife didn't have work, I would do that. But I gotta gotta be responsible. Happy wife, happy life. You're right. Yes. And I married a tough lady on purpose, so unhappy wife could be like no life. I'll wake up having been smothered in my sleep with a pillow. Telling you if you I married a Mexican woman, she'll post in my enchiladas, I get it. Yeah, yes. There's some guy on YouTube that posted a bunch of videos of his wife like just precision at like being able to toss that slipper out of nowhere and hit him. She's really, really good at it and fast. What's up, Diggs? Yeah. My wife likes to do kidney punches just for fun, not like abusive, but just out of nowhere. Good kidney punch. I, last one was not great. I'm gonna go back down to the 30s. Um, this week, or we're starting with last week. Been dealing with something went wrong in my elbow, so I've been babying it, trying to be responsible with it. If my wife kidney punched me, she'd cease to exist. Better you than me. Yeah, my wife. Yeah, my wife is really strong. She used to play football, so she's done a lot of like strength and conditioning. And when we were dating, it's just right in here. I Bison asks tendon on the upper portion below the tricep, above the elbow. I haven't done a lot of research on it because I don't want to find out how bad it is, but it's just right in here. I One of my kids has a race car bed, and I was lowering myself into it, like getting down, and I just, for whatever reason, it just something went wrong as I was putting myself getting in the bed. It just like something happened, but I was been babying it and trying to give it a chance to be good. So, anyways, I was saying, my wife and I, we had our first apartment when we were dating, and I was I was I was really sick at the time. So we started wrestling in the kitchen. Again, like I said, I had like the flu. I was sick. Started wrestling in the kitchen, and she uh, was going to knock me over. I was like completely sapped of like energy. And I thought, though, there is no way this relationship will ever work if she takes me down. I just can't do it. This will be the end of our relationship. It'll break my spirit. I'll never bounce back from this. So I thought, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Before she takes me down, I'm gonna reach down. I'm gonna grab her weighted leg and just pull it up and just take her slowly to the ground. And between being exhausted and not thinking thoroughly, I grabbed that leg, pulled it up, and she went down so hard. It was so bad. And thankfully, she stuck with me. It was a bad one. Yep, that's the one I get all the time. I baited it for a bit and then ended up doing low weight single arm French press and building it back up. I love that. Yeah, it was I just couldn't stand it. There's no way you know, there's no way I could stay in a relationship with having lost. Oh, actually, I'm in threes. I'll tell you this story. If you love that one, Bison. My time for me to work. I'm gonna leave you to finish your workout. Go. Keep killing it. It's nice chatting. Thanks, Bryson. Hope to see you again. I'll tell you this. My mom and dad are both Marines, and my mom, I think it's, I always forget how you say it, but it's like the pugilistic, or it's just this, the staff, and she had to get better at it. Um, so she asked my dad to help her. So my dad, they had like he'd broken a postal digger while working on a fence, so they took those to use as staffs. And my dad was like teaching her how to do it, and was having fun with it, and he kept like tapping her on the head, and she wasn't very good at it. So I started laughing. I was like really young at the time. I started laughing at my mom, and my dad said, "What are you laughing at?" And looked over, and when he was looking over, my mom brought her staff down and just smashed his hand on his stick and ended up breaking his hand. Ah, good times for him. Gotta love when your wife breaks your hand. But that's what happens when you marry tough women. You knew my mom was a Marine when you married her. He knew what he was getting into. I tell you, if you there's nothing like having a tough wife because you know she'll be able to take care of herself if something happens to you, and she'll be able to raise your kids tough if something happens to you. Of course, you hope nothing bad happens to you, but you can't see it all. So it's good to have a tough wife. At least my mindset. You just have to learn how to duck when you have a tough wife. Bob and weave. Bob and weave. Yesterday was obviously Tuesday, and a lot of voting being done. And I took my kids to the voting. It was pretty exciting. My mother-in-law runs some of the polling places where we live, so she was able to take my kids in and show them how to do it. Even gave them a piece of paper so they could pretend like they were voting. And when my mother-in-law asked him, who do you want to vote for? I want to vote for Nan. That's what they call her, Nan. That was super cute. It was really cool. I was trying to explain to my kids, trying to explain voting to them. Like, why do we vote? It's they're curious about the whole thing. And I said, well, a long time ago, we used to have a king, and the king could do whatever they wanted. So, for instance, if the king wanted to come to the house and say, "Give me your stuffed animal," you couldn't say no. But if you did say no, the king could then say, "Okay, we're gonna take you to jail, and then we're gonna take your stuffed animal." I was like, "Does that sound like a good idea?" And she was like, no, no, that's not a good idea. I said, no. And if the king said, hey, I'm gonna have my friend come stay at your house and sleep in your bed, and you have to sleep in the garage, the king could do that. Does that sound like a good idea? I'm like, no, that's not a good idea. So, okay, so we a long time ago, a bunch of people got rid of the king, and they decided, okay, we're all going to vote. We're all going to decide what we have. If we're going to have a king, but we end up with a president, we end up with a Congress, and we vote. We get to decide what we want and what we don't want. So a king can't tell us what to do anymore. And they were very excited about that. They were super excited about getting rid of the king. It's Kieran. The guns. Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. It's funny having to, when you have to find ways to explain things to kids that they understand. And then it's funny when you do explain something that you thought was complex and a complex issue. When you break it down, you realize, oh no, it's actually pretty simple to explain. Just thought it was more complex than it was. Almost thought that was a compression tank. Nope, just a standard Under Armour tank. I thought about doing compression tanks, but or maybe something that doesn't show my stomach as much. But this is reality. It's how it looks, and slowly it'll get better. But it will get better because I'm in better shape, not because I squeeze my fat to make it look better. Oh, strong stomach. Yes, strong. St. Patrick's Day is coming, so I gotta keep the keg in good shape. My dad always said that he kept his gut so that people didn't get cut on the edges. Um, what my body fat is, yeah, it's. I mean, it's. I think my arms is harder to do, but I right now float around 200 pounds. So I think I don't know. I'd have to go look. I'm sure my body fat's around 20%, but I actually don't know. I'd have to. I never really spent a lot of time looking at body fat percentage. Um, but 5'9", 200 pounds at 5'9". The nice thing about the way my body works is almost all my fat hangs out in my midsection. So I've learned from experience that this is the last spot my fat like drops off of. Well, thank you very much. So I like having solid arms, and the rest will go. It's just taking time. You should have seen me 2 years ago. I was 246 pounds. That was not pretty. LOL, so your arms aren't flopping everywhere. Yeah, no. Maybe when I get older, I think because I have big biceps, it's not so bad. I think when I get older, as I lose muscle mass, it'll start to definitely have flabbier skin in my arms. But when I was 246, that was a sight. How big are my arms? I think they're about. I think I haven't measured in a while, but they're probably around like 15 and a half to 16 inches. And then I measure without a pump. So right now they're bigger because I've been lifting, but when I'm not lifting, they're about 15 to 16 inches, probably about 15 and a half inches. I always heard it was like cheating if you measure when you're lifting. Yeah, I'm fortunate on the stretchy skin side. Never ended up with stretch marks. The only place I've ever gotten stretch marks is on my legs. They're like on the inside. I had a buddy that got into bodybuilding and just had like I don't know, just stretch marks and scarring all over his chest from just. I think he started juicing, and he didn't really say he was juicing, but it looked like he just his skin wasn't able to keep up with how fast he was growing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 His skin. Oh, be careful grabbing under there without deodorant. Yeah. Well, that's it. Thing that is nice about working out in your own garage is you don't have to worry too much about smell. And I always hit the shower right after so I don't inflict my family with bad smell. Do you lift? Is it Kyrian? Oh, to do core? Good. Oh, it's awesome. All right, this is gonna be the last set 30. Had to get rid of my stomach too. Yeah, core is definitely something I'm working on. It's gonna be my last set actually. I gotta roll out early today. My wife has to get to work early. I definitely think a strong core is good and important. Strong lower back. One of my goals is to get a lot stronger in my core. Ideally, I want to live. My goal is to live into my hundreds, and I think the thing that's going to help my mobility as I get older is having that strong core. On the arms when you cross your arms. Yeah. It's because it's cold out here. It's nice and chilly in my garage. Um, but yeah, like I said, I want to break 100 years old, and I want to still be mobile. And I think having a good strong core and lower back is going to help with that level of mobility. That's why you need compression. Yeah. Um, so yeah, that's it. I'm gonna be taking off. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you have a good Wednesday. Almost halfway to the weekend, and God bless you guys. Thank you so much.